Actually, what we have is an app that let people give feedback. When you have need advice about two outfits or two looks or anything or what to buy, we provide that feedback in our app with stylists. We also have people who are voting in the polls about what to buy, pretty much. And we know there's a lot of people right now who need feedback about what to do. And we know virtual meetings are the thing now. So everyone wants to get their point across, but one of the most important things to get your point across is actually your personal image. When you're not selling a product, but you're selling yourself, the way that you present to others, it makes a huge difference. And it's gonna be the yes or no in terms of getting a new job, selling a product. If you're in SaaS sales, like selling software, or you're a coach, or if you're somebody who's like really in leadership, you're leading a lot of people, you wanna get your point across, but you also wanna look presentable. And that's what we are doing this meeting with Tavia. She's an expert in image consultant. And image is not only important about just being vain and how do we look, but it's also important for business to make more money, like I was saying, and to get your point across, to show leadership, to show that that your point is valuable. And unfortunately, when people don't have that image and they don't represent those values, people, well, they don't believe them. And then you can start losing sales, you can start losing, a job or anything just because of that. So Tavia agreed very nicely to have a meeting today and give us some tips about what she recommends. Those are the best ways to put yourself in a virtual meeting, in social media, or just for daily life. You have a meeting with others, then you can be more presentable, and you can start getting more sales, getting a better job, or even in dating, is selling yourself too, right? So,
Right.
Tavia, thank you so much for being here, and let's have you take over right now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So, Tavia Sharp, thank you for Paula for introducing me. I love that you invited me to come and speak about this topic because all of you know how passionate I am about image, but now we're living in a virtual world, right? So we're not meeting people in person, but we all still have to get business done. We all still know that our image makes a difference. How we show up is so powerful, right? So that's what I teach as an image coach, an image consultant, a speaker, teaching men how to use image as a tool to get dateable, promotable, and investable. So whether that's in your business, it's in your personal life, it's about helping you feel confident, empowered to really show up as your authentic self, as your own personal brand, right? So today I want to give some tips. I'm going to do a little presentation, but let's make it interactive. If you guys have questions, feel free to chime in, put it in the chat box. I will check there. Okay. So just, as I'm going along, if there's questions, let me know. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, you have to enable
Can
me.
you share the screen, Tavia?
You have to enable me to share it.
Let me see.
I think you have to make me the host.
Make you use the
Yes.
spotlight now. Can you do it now?
No. It says
Yeah,
host disabled.
right. You have to enable her, Paula. And the way to do it is to go in the top right-hand corner of her image, and there's 3 dots. You click on that, and it will give you permission to do it.
Thank you, Omar.
You're welcome.
Let me see. Do you do it now?
You have to do it. You have to go into your view and the 3 dots
Yeah,
at the
let me
top.
check. Do I have to make you
Yeah, the
a
host.
host? Okay,
Yes.
got it. Yes, I did it now.
Okay. Oh, and I think
Yes.
somebody's coming in. Okay, so let's admit them. Oh, Manny, hello. Okay. All right, everyone. So I'm going to share my screen now. Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
I know I have a lot of tabs open. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to do that. All right, here we go. Okay, so how to sharpen your style for virtual meetings. okay, we're living in a virtual world. Like I said, this is how we're connecting now, but we still have to show up and present ourselves in a powerful way, right? So how are we showing up? You know, before we used to show up in person like this, you know, together, maybe in a board meeting. This is obviously an older picture, but just it goes to show how much times have changed, right? We're all kind of moved out of these power suits and now we're moving into more of a business casual world or even some casual, right? But I guess the difference is then it used to be like this, crowded over a board, you know, we're together in the board meeting. Now we're meeting online over Zoom, but it still makes a difference, right? How we show up and how we present ourselves.
Yes.
So today, I want to go over these things. I want to go over how mindset is influenced by what we wear, the style we choose, and how we're dressing. I want to talk about how to pull together a head-to-toe look that's professional and it's polished looking, but also it's in tune with kind of this new business casual world, right? Choosing clothing, choosing colors, choosing accessories that will enhance your overall appearance, and how investing in your image can really elevate your impact and influence, right, in your business and beyond. So,
Tavia, I have a quick question.
Yes, Leo.
Not meaning to chime in too quickly, but
Sure.
my main question is also with your image and your clothing and stuff. Like, I think your background in Zoom, like, it's great that everybody kind of has a natural background. I don't, you know, with interviews and everything else, maybe virtual backgrounds are cool, but I'm just thinking from a normal person perspective that a person would actually, like, let's say if you was interviewing me, you would actually want to see what my background is, as opposed to, you know, like clouds or, you know, a New York City skyline or whatever. So I was really hoping to get out of this as far as like your advice is like the backgrounds and investing in that and how you should position yourself, because I have so many rooms in my house that I could like go into, but I just want to be very smart about how I position myself in my background also.
I'm glad you brought that up. Real quick about that, you want to think of it this way, right? What if we were to invite somebody into our home? What if we invited a coworker, a colleague, a boss, somebody, you know, that we really care about making a good impression, right? What would we do to prepare for that? We would maybe clean our home, set it up, you know, get it ready. We would dress a certain way as well, right? So it's kind of the same thing. You're inviting someone into your home. I mean, when you see me, I'm framing myself, right? So I want to invite you in. And just like Paula, she's inviting you into her home, right? So you want to think about that. It is part of the presentation and it is a part of your appearance. I mean, it is different, right? Because to your point, it's not just what we're wearing, but also our background as well. So I would think of it that way. What would look inviting to people? What would make them feel welcome? Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, I definitely have to organize my my background, but yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Like for me, I have like a makeshift, you know, trifold, and that's what I did. So you could even get something like that. So Zoom, who's using Zoom these days? I mean, I'm on Zoom like crazy, right? Everybody's on Zoom. Their active users jump from 10 million to 200 million. So this is the world we're living in.
Yep.
So, you know, really think about it. The spotlight is on you. Everybody's on spotlight. Everybody can see you, unlike a meeting in person, right? Sometimes you could kind of maybe blend in, pretend you're not there. If you didn't say anything, you didn't speak up. But in a Zoom meeting, everybody can see you. You are literally on spotlight. So the one thing you can control, to Leo's point, is how you show up, right? Your image, your background. So I just thought I'd throw this in here because you really just don't want to get caught, right, with your pants down, literally.
Happens.
Like, avoid distractions. Like this person, he was a reporter. He realized, if he realized it or not, I'm not sure, but he didn't realize that the camera could see him fully, and so he just didn't put on pants for this.
Right.
For this national TV, you know, spotlight, right? So you want to think about how do you want to be remembered?
I guess he is remembered.
Yes, he's remembered. But I don't know if that's the way you want to be remembered. So, you know, think about, even though, look, we all understand we're in a different world. You know, we got kids being homeschooled. Everybody's doing the best they can, right? So just like this reporter, you got kids in the background. You still have your control of what you wear and how you show up so that you are composed, you feel confident. And that's the one thing that really helps you be present and show up in a powerful way, right? So also, I want to point out that what we wear, even working from home, even when we're not on a Zoom call, this is about the psychological aspect of the clothing that we put on. Even though we're not leaving the house, are you dressing for your day? Are you putting yourself in the mindset, putting your head in the game, right? How do you boost your productivity? How do you boost performance and also elevate your mood, right? Because when you put on that, when you're ready for the day, when you actually get dressed and show up, you're taking on the day, you're tackling it, right?
When you start dressing up, Tavia, it gives you a boost of confidence.
Yes.
And you feel more prepared. You feel more,
prepared.
right on. When you're undressed, you feel insecure and you can get your point across. So.
Yes. And I don't know about you, just like this woman in the picture, right? She's wearing her pajamas and I feel a little lazy. I feel, maybe lazy is not the right, I feel a little lackadaisical, laid back. There's definitely an attitude shift when we actually dress for our day. So just to keep that in mind. But remember that connecting online really is the same impact as in person. I know it's different. We're not in person, giving our business card, shaking hands, but we are connecting online. So we maybe even more of an important thing now that we show up more powerfully, right? Because it's going to make such a difference.
Yeah.
So first impressions online really have that same gravitas, that's how we want to think of it. This is really, we shouldn't be taking it lightly or kind of not putting in the effort because we're like, oh, what's the big deal? We're not seeing them in person, when actually first impression still makes a difference. So also I want to point out, your digital presence is a marketing, it's a marketing tool for you, right? So, if you're on LinkedIn and for example, don't have a photo. I mean, this is an example of somebody, right, that, that he's just always looks dressed on point, but also in his photo. I mean, imagine connecting with somebody on LinkedIn, didn't even have a photo. I mean, that's the first point of trust, in my opinion. Somebody just reached out to me actually on LinkedIn and tried to pitch me, right? And the first thing I noticed was they don't have a photo. And I'm like, you're like a person in the abyss. I mean, who are you? I can't even relate at all because I don't even see anything, right? You're not even a real person, honestly, because I don't see you. I can't, get a sense of who you are. So I think that's really important to point out.
I have one quick question about that, Tavia.
Yes.
So your photo on, let's just say LinkedIn and I have Gmail, is it good to have a contrasting photo? So for instance, LinkedIn, I'm in a suit and on my Gmail, I'm also in a suit, but I have a pink shirt. So it kind of is more relaxed and laid back as opposed to the whole, white shirt, standard tie thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to look more professional typically on LinkedIn. Not that you shouldn't on those other platforms. Really think about how you want to present yourself. All of them should be congruent in some way, even if one is a little more professional than the other. You still want to, feel like you're authentic to who you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, great.
Colors are super important in terms of projecting, right? So,
yes,
like for example, in people in politics, they use a lot of red because it's a very passionate color and it really transmit those values. So colors also will bring a lot of, emotions, to the viewers. So that's a very important thing to do. If you're wearing black or white or more neutral colors, those feelings are more neutral. So then, but if you really want to project or sell or do something, try to use always bright, passionate colors that will get people, to look at you more and believe in what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree with that. Color is a powerful tool. And I think, like I said here, master your color, right? So here's a great example. Think about how people show up on TV, right? Like newscasters, if you watch sports, right? How do those sportscasters show up on the show? They usually wear something very, that stands out, This is a great example, I think, because you can see that the woman is clearly wearing that color, right? That pinkish purple color. And the way the guy can wear it is with the tie. Maybe it's just a little accent in the shirt. So I want to say, please don't be afraid of color. I know I work with a lot of clients that tend to shy away from color, possibly because you don't know what looks good on you or you don't know how to wear color. And I totally understand, but this is where I'm going to try to give you some tips so you can think about color in a different way. And like Paula said, it really does affect your mood. Color really shows, like, it highlights who you are. It brings you out, and especially on a sea of other men that may be wearing something very similar, like the typical navy jacket, blue shirt, white shirt, button down, right? How do you stand out? That's how you want to think about it. So just like this gentleman, this is a perfect way to do it. You want to avoid, I want to talk about some don'ts too. You want to avoid busy patterns. You know, this guy's a little flashy, but you know, just on a video, it tends to be too much, right? Maybe in person it works, but on a video meeting, too much is distracting. So like this, just too busy things, kind of avoid that. Also, I want you to avoid black and white. The reason being is because the camera doesn't like those colors. The camera is very different, and the way it highlights us is different than in person. So in person, it's okay to wear those things, but on video, you want to try to avoid those as much as possible. Try blues, try navy, other neutral tones, like these are great examples. Bright blue like this, or maybe a light blue. I'm going to show you more examples too, but even neutrals can work. I know Paula mentioned neutrals too. And also that affects your mood. Maybe you want to come across as more calm, relaxed, but try to, you know, mix it in. And so it's not all one color, right? Just like, you know, the gentleman on the right, he has different colors of neutrals and the way he's blending it, right? To be a little different.
Hey,
Okay.
Paula.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tavia.
Yes.
So my background in selling copiers, monitors use RGB, which is red, green, blue. So that's why black and white doesn't look good on monitors.
Thank you
Just
for
to
that.
support what you said, Tavia.
Thank you so much for that. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah. Even if you were to show up for like a video shoot or a photo shoot, they would tell you the same thing. Try to avoid those as much as possible. They just don't help put you in the best light, right? So, okay, business formal, business casual. Who is mostly wearing business casual these days? It's mostly business casual, right? So here's a great example, right? Bill Gates, pretty formal on the left, right? That's a typical, I would say, uniform, a business formal uniform. But on the right, business casual, I actually think he looks better in the business casual because, you know, he's a little more relaxed, but he still looks polished. He looks put together. He's also wearing some color, which actually helps, you know, brighten him up a bit. So think of how, you know, I personally don't work with a lot of people that have to wear the business formal. So I'm typically helping clients dress more business casual, but also helping you look polished and professional at the same time. So think about the colors, think about fit, and you know, it's still, you can still look professional without having to wear that whole, you know, suit and tie thing. Some don'ts, right? So, I mean, the sweatshirt thing, I see a lot. Please avoid wearing the sweatshirt because it just looks a little too casual and it looks a little like I didn't put in the effort. So, for example, what you could wear to the right of that, maybe it's a cardigan or a V-neck sweater. That's still comfortable, but it looks more polished and put together than a sweatshirt, right, and a t-shirt.
There's a fine line between frumpy and casual, you know.
Yes, very, especially for men. I think it's, you know, it's an extreme sometimes, but I'm telling you, just making these small tweaks, it's not too complicated for guys. You know, you don't have a lot of items to choose from to begin with, right? So just choosing a couple different things that, and I'll get to, you know, a capsule wardrobe as well, because I want you to understand that you don't need a lot to really make these outfits work for you, especially if you're doing these, you know, conference calls, right, on Zoom for the week. You can easily put together these looks from what you have. So another example on the right, you know, maybe it's layering. I love to layer looks because they make you look a little bit more stylish. and just kind of mixing different things like a sweater over a shirt, under a jacket, putting a couple different fun accessories in there to really accessorize your personality makes you stand out and just be different, right? And it's also branding. So you want to think about these things as it relates to who you are, your personality, and your brand. Okay, some things to avoid. I know, most of us, we don't see our pants on the video, but shirts we definitely see, right? So avoid the baggy and saggy is what I'm saying. Baggy shirts, I usually see baggy in the arm, baggy in the waist, and sometimes the shoulders line is drooping. The collar looks a little, frayed, saggy. These are the things that you really want to avoid, because if I just have this frame, I mean, what are they seeing? They're seeing this, right? So if I have a really well-fit shirt on, that's really going to make a statement. So avoid the baggy and saggy, and, and then again, with the color that I talked about, I mean, you'll definitely be standing out. Capsule wardrobe. So who knows what a capsule wardrobe is?
Oh, no.
Most guys don't. So what it is really, it's just few items that you can actually pull from your closet and mix and match and make different outfits out of them. So I just gave you an example here, right? So let's say your capsule wardrobe is like one suit. Maybe it's a button-down shirt or two button-down shirts, a t-shirt, a polo, a couple different pairs of pants, a 5-pocket pant, a jean, a chino, right? And a couple different accessories like dress shoe, a dressy sneaker, or some type of boot. And then a couple other accessories like ties, right? Then you break that down into, and I just gave you two different outfit ideas here, but it could be 5, 7 outfits that you could get, even more, honestly, from just a few items. So it's really the idea of having just not a lot of items, sticking to a few core basics that you can really build upon and create your outfits. So that's what I like to do with clients when I do style with them, or we're investing in your wardrobe, keeping it simple. And then later on you can add in. But this is a great, especially now. I mean, what do you need on Zoom? You only need a few dress shirts, some jackets, and mixing and matching those, and you're pretty much set, right? So does anybody have questions about capsule wardrobes?
Yeah, so you're proposing shrinking the wardrobe on the left to the one on the right. Is that what this slide is saying?
It doesn't really shrink. It's more like this is what you can build out of it, right? So it's like if you have maybe those items on the left, for example, you can build out different outfits from those items.
Okay.
That's what it's. I was trying to give that example.
Okay.
Kind of put this together today. So
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here's an example of one of my clients, right? Before, and this is a Leo, this is the idea of the distracting background, right? So for this client, right, it's pretty distracting. But, I just want to show you an example. The one on the left is just too much going on. He's wearing dark colors. He's wearing bright colors. He's wearing busy patterns. It's all the don'ts that I said. And really, the one on the right, it's the same person, but he just looks so much more put together and polished than he did before, right? The suit fits better. The color is more toned down. He looks more confident. And after working with us together, he now is getting to have clients that are Fortune 500 companies, just from simply just the style and wardrobe change. But just an example of how the don'ts, can really hold you back, and you're looking at the after, and those are the kind of results, right?
Well, his image is more assured on the right.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So.
Another one of my clients before and after, wearing colors that are a little too washed out, toned down. It's just baggy, not really fitting him that well, not really doing him justice. He's a business owner. The image on the right of him is actually of him doing an interview. I just took a screenshot of him on a video getting interviewed, and that's what he wore. Just feeling a little more confident, put together. in his look, wearing a little bit of pattern. You know, don't be afraid of pattern. It's just, you know, keeping it toned down is really the key.
Definitely he looks more approachable.
Yes.
Really
And that's exactly what the results he got, more approachable. He told me people were approaching him left and right, tons of opportunities, being asked to be a guest judge, landing more deals for his business. Definitely makes a difference. But, you know, I thought these were great examples of just, you know, people that were, you know, had a photo or something on a video that you could kind of see and get a feel for what to do. So I hope that helps. So think, the one thing you can take charge of is your image, right? That's the one thing we have control of. So it's really about investing in yourself, you're a brand. You have to start thinking yourself that way. I'm the CEO of Me Inc. So this is your opportunity to do that. So I hope I gave you you tips to do that. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I asked my questions while you were going through the slides.
That was great. Yeah,
No,
I did too.
I have more questions, Tavia.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So, like you said, authenticity is so important in being natural, and also, you know, the whole business casual thing is more in than business formal. Now, me personally, like the point that you made with the enclosed cognition, I think that really hits home. And one of the things that I just think that's really unique to me is that I actually like love suspenders, the old school suspenders. And I just feel like I'm more of a money maker, like when I wear them and everything. And people might see that's like dating me or whatever the case is. But I just feel like, you know, let's just say if I'm having an interview or whatever the case is, it could be kind of like a bold look, like a make me or break me look. Like either, let's just say if you love suspenders, either you're going to love them or you're not going to love them. So I don't want it to be something that's going to be distracting, but I just want to be my authentic self. So what advice would you give me on something like that?
On wearing suspenders?
Or, yeah, wearing suspenders, like, you know, the real ones with the buttons, not the
Well, nowadays, I think on a video interview, probably people can't really see it, just because, you know, even with me, you wouldn't be able to see it, right, if I were wearing a jacket. So if you feel like it gives you confidence, I know on my last webinar I did, actually somebody shared that they wear, I think it was these socks that they bought, and they just felt like they were like giving them some extra boost. And so they were like, these are like my power socks, right? And I was like, you know what, whatever works. I mean, if that's the thing that makes you feel good, and you said you feel like a moneymaker, I think that's the word that you used, right? I say go for it, because if it's going to help enhance how you step into that interview, yes, use it as a tool. I mean, this is for you to shine, right? So if it's going to help you, like for me, I like to wear, you know, prints. As you can see, I'm wearing a printed dress. Sometimes I like to wear jewelry, you know, that makes me feel like a little more authentic to me. And I like to wear a bold lipstick. And so these are all important things that you can do that make you unique, right? They're your style. It's your style preference. I say go for it.
All right, great, thanks.
That personalization is very important when you're trying to, you know, to sell yourself, because, you know, it kind of makes little tweaks, just like a little handkerchief, you know, or a little something that really shows who you are, you know, as a person. There, if you're more creative, then just go a little further down, you know, in the colors and be a little more out there. Or if you are more classic and you're an investment banker or something like that, then you can play with that too, with patterns and, you know, things that they still look very stylish, but they look very trustworthy too. So.
Exactly. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Any more questions?
Was that German that just asked a question? Because he had his hand raised.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my hand raised for a little bit.
Yes, hi, German.
So I did had a question about going back to the LinkedIn photo and stuff like that. I do have my LinkedIn, which is, I'm a photographer, right? So I should have a good LinkedIn photo. But now I'm noticing that when this is my third Zoom call, and like right now Leona is barking and I have to go and see what she wants, and so I have to turn off my camera. And so do you think that my photo, it's inappropriate for a photographer. Like, should I be facing the camera? And so here, let me just stop the video so you can see it, because I think I wanna show up
Let
as a
me see.
professional.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I want to show up as like creative too, right? I like colors. I do like colors and patterns and
Yes.
and stuff like that. But when I'm in a Zoom call, I don't know how to like.
We can't see. Are you? Did you want to show me a picture? Because all I see is it the picture you have up?
Yes, it's the photo
Oh,
that I have
okay.
up.
Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. Okay, so your question is, should you have something more professional on your
Right.
LinkedIn?
No, in my Zoom
Oh,
video
in your Zoom
conferences.
video.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I would, just because you're turned to the side. I feel like I want to like have you head on so I can really actually get your presence. You know what I mean? Especially if
Okay.
we're not, if you just have your, like if you're not on the camera. So people can really kind of see you and get a sense of you, right? It's about how you show up. It's your presence. So
Got it.
I would have a different picture. That's a little bit more like,
Okay. And I'm feeling pretty bummed up because like I'm wearing a hat. It was a workout today. I washed my hair and I was like, I don't want to show up to a call with like my hair all crazy, and that's why I put a cap. And so this again, like I feel like, oh, I should have dressed up for this call because this is the call that I need to be dressed up. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, that happened to me many times when we first got into quarantine because, right? Like, I mean, I didn't know how many calls I was going to be on. Sometimes I was on a call the last minute, you know, so I'll just call myself out. I wasn't always prepared. And you know what? It didn't make me feel very good. I just decided that, you know, I was going to dress for my day no matter what. Except I do kind of schedule 1 or 2 days during my week where I decide to not do any calls. But for me, it really does make a difference, because then you just feel like you being on spotlight doesn't feel as like, like uncomfortable. You just feel like ready and prepared, right?
Okay.
So I totally get that. It's definitely a mood thing for sure, right? Like we talked about.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I have more questions, but I don't want to be. I want everybody else to go first. I want to be like the last.
Okay. Omar, you have
So
any
I
other
have a
questions?
question. So I love everything that you stand for, and I love like what you do in terms of like helping men become investable, dateable, and more profitable. I forgot what is that.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Promotable, but that's perfect.
Promotable. There you go. Yeah, I love everything that you do. And my question is, obviously there's no like one size fits all, right?
Yes.
And so when you're dealing with someone who, like, how do you deal with somebody who's more in the creative space that just doesn't feel comfortable with the button downs and the cardigans and all of that, but yet you still want them to have that presence? Like,
Yep.
what realm do you, what advice or what tips do you give that person, that's not in corporate?
Yeah. So typically, I will have them go into a deeper dive about their personal brand. So it's like, it could be, whose style do you admire? You know, what's your favorite drink? What's your favorite thing to do outside of your work? It needs to be a deeper conversation so we can get an understanding of who you are and what you represent, right? So your values, your mission, your vision, and kind of your interests, right? Like, what do you like? And even who do you admire, right? So when I do that, a personal branding session with somebody, that's when I really get a sense of, okay, well, this is the style that they want to emulate. And like I said, I always say this, I never change who you are. This is about taking you, who you already are, to that next level. So it'd be like Nando times 10, not Nando who's playing small. This is, who do you really want to show up as, and how do I help you show up as that person through your image, through your appearance, and the way you communicate yourself. So your style is unique to you, and then that's where we start. And then from there, I'll create a style mood board is what I call it. And I do that in Pinterest pulling images and ideas, inspiration, sharing that with you. And then we get to play, right? We get to say, oh yeah, I like that. I like that. And then we get to go find that. I do that for you as the guide, right? And then that's when we pull these amazing looks together. And, you know, that's pretty much how it works.
Nice.
Usually
Okay.
a person who, like Tavia, some people feel a little intimidated because, oh, she's gonna change me. I'm not gonna wanna use that. She's gonna tell me to use it. But when a stylist come in or somebody who like Tavia, it's actually to guide you a little more and to just really shine through, you know, and share your values, like you said, your mission, what you're doing in your life, what you want to project. If you're in leadership or you're in you're talking, you know, to masses, to many people, you want to project some values and you want people to believe you. So
Yes.
that's what Tavia does. She just enhance all those things in you so you can be more productive and more, you know, bring those values across. And people can see that because
Yes.
what they
Yeah.
see probably now is just a bunch of things, just very like, you know, but when you have your image done and you can, nobody will stop you. You can really come across, make your point, do leader, you know, be a good leader, be a good speaker, motivator, you know, whatever you want to be. Is if your image is perfect, then you can just take over the world. That's
Yeah.
what I think, and that's what
Yeah,
I
that's a
see.
great way to say it.
It's
I even,
all about psychology, you know.
yes, it's a psychological effect. And I mean, I've even worked with tech guys, you know, one of my clients is in Amazon. You know, I've worked with a bunch of tech guys, engineers. I mean, think about it. They don't really need to dress up for work, you know, right? But when your clothes make you feel a certain way, that's when it matters. When you look good, you feel good. Maybe it's in your dating life that you want to feel better. If it's in your business, you really want to take that on and you want to show up in you want to look successful. You want people to see that about you right away without you even having to say a word. That is powerful. So that's what I really love about style, is that's what it can do for you. So, you know, using it as a tool.
And in another situation, you have Tavia, like I said, we have the app that I own, SelfieMark,
Yeah.
where people like Tavia go in and you can get feedback. You can post 2 looks and say, hey, I'm going on a date. What do I use, this or that? And we'll respond. So that's our app. Is free in the App Store. So you guys can also go and check it out if you want. And I would suggest you use Tavia 30 minutes right now and just see what she has to say, you know, and give you some guidance. It's free and you have nothing to lose and you have many things to win. So
that's right.
And I thank you everyone for being here today. And we'll put the replay of the video so you guys can see it, or you want to share it with somebody, we'll put that online too. So thank you so much for being here. You want to
Thank
close
you,
up?
everyone. Yeah, just, you know, I just want to say thank you for being here. I know you could be doing a lot of other things right now, right? There's a lot going on, but you chose to be here. So that says a lot about who you are and how you want to show up for yourself. So yes, and many of you know me. You have my contact information, and also Paula can share it with you afterwards. And that's it. You know, feel free to reach out anytime, okay? Oh, and Leo, you have a question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, I knew we had one.
Thanks so much. Yeah, and
Yes.
this is a great
Thank you, Omar.
presentation. I really appreciate it. Just going deeper dive into the self-image and kind of what you were saying, your deeper dive with how you work with clients. Would you also say that interior design, because it kind of piqued my interest with this whole Zoom thing happening, as far as just organizing all the space around me, you know, in my whole house, like just everything kind of just being in harmony. It'll just work whether I'm, you know, let's just say upstairs in my room doing a Zoom call as opposed to the dining room or whatever the case is. I just think that interior design and self-image kind of interrelate with each other, but you know, I'm not an interior designer. I'm not in style like you, so I just kind of wanted to know your insight on that.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, right, it's our space, it's our, you know, everything that we, how do you say it, like surround ourselves with, or even what we put on, what's around us, the people that are in our lives, right? All of it should feel good to us. And it does affect the way we live our life, the way we show up, right? So I actually work with a couple interior designers, just referrals, and then also organizers, because a lot of people, if they want to, you know, transform their space as well as, you know, even just what they put on, right? Or what's in their closet, then it all works together. You know, it makes you feel good, you know, when you're working and living in a space that lifts your mood and your vibe, right? Just like what you put on your body. So I think they go hand in hand.
Great.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't mind me adding one thing really quickly for German and Nando, for the questions that you asked Tavia, your image, and I hope I'm not overstepping here, Tavia, but being a photographer, you definitely I don't think you have to necessarily look business casual because you're selling your service and the type of photography that you want to portray to your clients. So I have a feeling, German, that picture you put up is the clientele that you're after and the look that you want to portray. So it's probably good. And something very similar for Nando, you know, it just depends on the audience that you're appealing to. That will determine what your picture looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to be relatable. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Thank you, Omar.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's all the questions we have, guys.
Just one more. Hey, Tavia.
Manny.
Hi, Manny.
Hi. Yay. What about Zoom backgrounds? A lot of people are using that. Like, yeah. So this is my work.
Yeah. Is that your real work though, and you're using it as a background? Okay.
This is the newsroom of the New York Times.
Of the New York Times, yeah. We get a sneak peek of the New York Times.
I know. This is usually bustling with journalists, editors, and everything. This is taken about a month ago.
Okay.
And what? See, I see sometimes presenters have clouds and they're floating and everything, or the moon and they're orbiting. What do you think about that? It's kind of it's funny. It's great at certain times. Like you could turn it off. But like mine is just on. I keep forgetting that it's my background on that.
So is your question more like what should your background be, or?
Yeah, because I've seen a couple of TV programs saying, especially what you showed about reporters on having a background, or there's a big plant over here, or such and such. Should we consider our background to be like, okay, what we wanted to project and look and style it that way?
So I don't know if you were, maybe you came on late, but what I had said, Leo asked a similar question earlier in the beginning. And what I had said was, you want to think of it this way. If you were to invite somebody over your home, how would you prepare for that? You would, you know, set it up, right? You'd make it look presentable. You would make yourself look presentable. You'd get the lighting, you know, the mood set, I should say, the mood, right? And it's the same kind of thing, because we're inviting somebody into our home, technically, right? So I want it to feel inviting to you, welcoming, and you know, also it should show some personality, right? Because it's who we are, you know, it's a part of us, right? And how often do we get to see somebody's home, right? When we have a call or video meeting or a meeting. So think of it that way. I think backgrounds are good. I mean, like I just have a makeshift trifold set up, and that's how I did it, because I didn't want anything to be distracting in my background. I just want people to focus on me when I'm on the call. So that's just what I choose, but you do want to think about your background for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank
Great questions. Thank you so much.
That was that's a great meeting. Thank you guys for being here. And if you have any questions, again, please, Tavia information. It was right here. I think Tavia will be with you. I can send you.
I can put it
to everyone.
Yeah, put it.
Put in your chat.
Yeah, if you could send it to everybody, Paula, in the chat.
Okay, good. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll have more meetings. So we hope to see you guys soon.
Okay.
Thank
Nice to
so
meet
much,
you, everyone.
Paula. Thanks everybody for being here.
Take care. Take care, guys.
Okay.
Take care, ladies. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye.